very cool looking, and I'll show you some pictures of the flight test that is undergoing. And we are excited about this airplane. It is going to be a game changer, and this airplane is going to be by far the best airplane in its category, and it will beat any airplane in its category today by at least 15% in terms of fuel burn and operating costs. Nobody can even come close to this airplane. So let's go over some of that. So when we had the vision to build this airplane, these are some of the points. Again, you have the handout. We said we want to really be innovative. You want to give an experience to the passenger that they never have seen before or experienced before when they fly, say, from here to London. And we want to give the airline the lowest cost, the new revenue opportunities by more cargo and few other things, and more importantly, improve the bottom line of the airlines. And this airplane is capable of doing that, and this is the only airplane in my mind that can do it in the next foreseeable future till the A350 comes online, and you can talk to Airbus, they'll tell you when that will be coming online. Next. So, this airplane has been unprecedented in every respect. Look at all the customers around the world that has bought this airplane, and 863 firm orders with 56 customers, and the first airplane hasn't even been delivered to anybody yet. The next chart is even more important. 22 customers, even before the first airplane has ever flown, have already given follow-on orders to the Boeing company because they believe in this airplane so much, and they see that if they don't do it now, they won't have the chance to order it, and they will lose competitively to their competition. So these are all the different airlines that have ordered first time, second time, third time, and again, you have this chart in your package that you got. Okay, next. And this is an important thing. The 787 is a perfect complement to the 777, which, as you know, Air India and Jet Airways both today in the Indian markets are flying. And you can see all these marquee airlines in the world who have ordered both the 777s. Many of them are operating today, and they have ordered the 787 because this is the true complement in which they can open new markets and collect more profits. Okay? So what's the focus on the program right now? Obviously, we are now in the 2010 time frame, and we have said just before Farnborough that it is our goal to have this airplane enter into service towards the end of this year, and we have said it may move into probably the early weeks of 2011 January, but we feel comfortable that Air India will get its first airplane around the end of first quarter, early second quarter in 2011. Okay? Now, this airplane is made in a completely different way, and that's one of the reasons why we had so many delays. You can see all different partners around the world that are creating different parts of this airplane, major sub-assemblies. They all come in a very fancy airplane called the Dream Lifter, all to Seattle, and the assembly starts there. And I'm going to show you some pictures of our production line. Next. And so you can see from various parts of the world, you can kind of see the picture of the world map in the background. Different places in the world, different pieces of this are being produced. And then that airplane on the left, which can take the entire fuselage of the 787 inside, flies straight to Seattle from Japan or from Europe. And that's when we unload that airplane. The entire tail swivels out and the fuselage will come out, and then we will start the assembly of the sections in Seattle. And just to remind everybody, which you already know, but 15th of December was a spectacular day in our history because that's when the Dreamliner took off for the first time. It was a historic day for the aviation buffs, but certainly for the Boeing company. And you can see now, yes, it took us time, but now the global production system is maturing. And as you know, today 5 airplanes are in the flight test program, and I'll show you the details of that. Next. And This is actually the first Air India airplane in the assembly line in the Everett facility of the Boeing company. So you can see that's the Air India logo, and this airplane in that big green lifter, the parts have come from various places in the world, and now it's in the assembly section in the Everett factory. If you get a chance to go to Seattle in the next 4 weeks, you will see that in the factory, and then it will come out of the factory. Next. And as you know, Air India has the Gen X engine, which is a GE engine, and that airplane flew for the first time earlier, a couple of months ago, and that's a picture of that airplane.
The ZA005, the fifth 787 Dreamliner, taxis out for its maiden flight. It's the first Dreamliner powered by the new General Electric GE NX engine. The road to this milestone goes back several years for Boeing and the engine maker.
Well, it's a heck of a ride. Started for me back in June of 2003, and we're still trying to figure out the architecture of the engine.
GE and its partners spent years on research and development and came up with an engine that is lighter, quieter, easier to maintain, and more fuel efficient than its predecessor.
Oh my gosh, here it is. You know, it's coming at us.
Took off from Everett, Washington and headed east. Captains Mike Bryan and Mike Carricker quickly put the GE NX engine to the test as they flew the plane back and forth over Washington State.
I'm not sure if folks have done what we did today on first flight, but we did every single thing we could think of and ended up shutting down the left engine and the right, not at the same time. But shut them down, reload them, worked beautifully.
The advanced engine is one reason the 787 will allow airlines to fly non-stop between mid-sized cities while using significantly less fuel. Over the next couple of months, Boeing pilots will fly ZA005 to validate the 787's handling characteristics with GE engines. After nearly 4 hours in the air, the pilots called it a day and arrived in Seattle. With the successful flight, ZA005 not only officially joined the 787 test fleet, it also helped reach a milestone as it pushed the total number of flight hours to above 1,000.
It takes a lot of people to make this flight happen, and they go off as well as it did, and Mike and I were just lucky to be the ones in the front flying it. So couldn't thank you guys more. It's a really, really great job, and it's a fantastic flight. It was quite a thrill, I'll tell you. It's a combination of a lot of effort, a lot of people.
The sixth and final 787 flight test airplane will also be powered by GE NX engines. That jet is scheduled to fly sometime in July, with the first 787 Dreamliner on track to be delivered later this year.
So that was the GE engine, which has said Air India has chosen to power its flight. Jet Airways is yet to use this engine because their airplanes are further out in terms of production schedule. Okay, so basically the phenomenal demand for this airplane is making us look at creating a second assembly line where we are producing many of the parts of this airplane in a facility called Charleston, South Carolina. And you can see the day we opened that factory, and right now we are producing a lot of parts there. But in the future, we will be producing some 787s into that factory. Now, I just want to give you how intense flight test program one has to go through before you can certify and deliver an airplane to any airline in the world. And you can see the 4 major functions where we do the testing, and we are working with DJCA here, but I can tell you that many of these tests are already complete, and we feel pretty good about how this airplane has performed and what it has done that we originally thought would happen. And so you can see that we have crossed as of July 14, which is roughly 2.5 weeks ago, 1,144 hours has been flown on 5 different airplanes. You saw the picture of all 5 airplanes in the flight. The 361 flights it carried, the RR engine, which is Rolls-Royce, the fuel mileage is complete, G engine flutter testing is complete, and I'm going to show you some of these actual flight test videos are pretty exciting to see. Are not crosswind, and you can see at the last second how the entire airplane turns as it goes close to the runway. So that is one of the required testing, because typically the airports are not allowed to operate when the crosswind exceeds 35 knots and you have to go to a different airport. So this is that test. And next one is the ground effects, where you basically fly the airplane very close to the runway, you don't land, and you demonstrate that the ground effects that you are getting by being so close to the ground, the airplane is able to handle and it be stable, and at the same time it can have the characteristics and stability control that you want. Okay, good point. Okay, so this is just some of the key flight tests that this airplane has gone through, and we have given you all the different dates and the types of tests that were carried through. And you can see that the majority of the testing is now getting complete, and now we are into the fuel mileage of the GE, meaning you have to prove that it will burn the fuel that we said it will burn and not more than that. And then ultimately it comes to ETOPS. If you remember in the world, in 1995, 777 was the first airplane that flew on its inaugural flight from London to Washington, D.C. That's called the ETOPS flight, where you're flying over ocean and there are no suitable airports available. And this airplane is going to conduct its testing, and the 777 is at 209 minutes. We're going to try to get even longer ETOPS certification on this airplane than we've done on the 777. So, in summary, this program is now in wonderful shape. It took us a long time to get there, but we feel pretty comfortable now. You can see much of the risk in the flight test program has been retired now, and the airplane, like I said, 5 of them are flying. The 6th one is about to come online, and we are expecting, as I said, the delivery most likely later this year or perhaps in early January of next year. And so in summary, we feel the market in India is doing well. The whole world is actually recovering, but India is recovering much faster. And we have overcome our overcapacity issues that I used to talk about. We are now seeing a decent increase in load factor, and more importantly, the numbers of passengers that are flying, and the key ingredient, the price that they are getting, the yield that the airline gets when you and I fly from Mumbai to Delhi continues to be in a range that's profitable. You saw that Jet Airways quarterly profits were positive. SpiceJet announced, I think last week, Tuesday, they were positive, and I think that trend will continue, and we think that for majority carriers in India, this year that started on April 1 is going to be profitable. So that's basically the end of the presentation. I'll be happy to take any questions.